Laying down onto your back, bend your knees out to the sides and allow the bottoms of your feet to come together, and just put your hands onto your belly, specifically where maybe you're feeling that inflammation or discomfort, or really just any sort of stuck energy. And start to emphasize a deeper breath into your gut. Then once that is full, continue to inhale into your ribs. And the apex of the breath is up into the skull, all the way up to your crown. Exhale the opposite pattern, release out the head first, out the skull. Let the ribs deflate. And then allow your belly to soften. And let that rhythm be your guide for the next few moments. Belly, ribs, head. And then exhaling head, ribs, and belly. And you just let your whole body reconnect to a really natural state where it's similar to the rising and falling of the tides of the ocean. When there is friction or when there is tension, that's so normal. It happens to all of us. And the opportunity to pause and notice, let yourself feel the discomfort, right, versus ignoring it. And then embody like an inner massage, if you will, with the breath. Belly, ribs, skull on the inhale. Skull, ribs, belly on the exhale. Related to tension of the guts is just like a nervous system stress response. So now, keeping your eyes closed, keeping the breath rhythmic as you've built, just start to move your eyes really slowly around, keeping them closed. Just kind of make either big circles with your eyes in the eye sockets, or maybe even a figure 8 pattern with your eyes. And just stimulating, you have all these different little muscles of the eyes that allow the eyes to move when you're looking around in space and time. And so moving them in a different way versus a stress response where our eyes might be, looking at a document or trying to figure something out. Instead, delighting the muscles like a restorative eye movement. And whatever you've been doing, retrace the steps or retrace the circles or the figure 8s of the eyes. Let it be yin, let it be soft, even though the muscles are working to move the eyes around, there's a softness there too. And from this position, take 2 more deep, slow breaths. Laying on your back, supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then we'll slowly, you can put your hands on the outer knees and start to pull the knees towards each other, but then widen your feet as wide as a yoga mat. Yeah. Put the hands back onto your belly, anywhere you like, and tick-tock the knees. Both will go one way, so slow. Inhale, come back to the center. And then exhale, they'll dip the other way. And the knee narrows for the pelvic floor to widen as you go side to side. As those of you who took my noon class today learned a lot, when you allow the knee to narrow in, oh, hey, Pauline. When the knee narrows, the pelvic floor can actually widen. So for example, when the right knee comes in towards the left inner foot, you can actually broaden the pelvic floor on that side. And vice versa, as the knees tick-tock over to the right, left knee narrows, left pelvic floor wides. So you're actually opening the space of the glutes as you do your tick-tock. Then from here, bring the knees back to center. Just let the legs relax. The knees might even come in towards each other. And take your hands to your neck. Bring your fingers towards the neck, the center of the spine, the cervical, and narrow your elbows. And touching the back of your neck, lay back, open your throat, and massage the neck. And you want to build this length. So you bring your fingertips, you guys are laying down. I'm sitting up to show you. You guys are laying down and you swipe up. Right fingers, left fingers. And as you lay way back with the throat in the front, and have a lot of space. Soften your teeth, soften your jaw. And welcome an embodiment of the curvature of the back of the neck, which gives rise to an open throat and easier breath, right? You can notice it. You can even do it if you want. Tuck your chin. Notice how easy it is to breathe. Open the throat. Notice how easy it is to breathe. And just, from your own experience, choose what gives you more freedom. And then from here, keep the left hand on the neck, take your right hand across and touch the left ribs. And again, you guys are laying on the ground. Then take your left hand and touch your right shoulder. Okay. Let your head tip over to the right ear towards the right shoulder, and take just three big breaths into the left side ribs. And let it be more yin now that you've actively gotten into this arm crisscross arc situation. Let the pelvis relax and even encourage a curve of the belly. So the tailbone has a natural, rooting into the earth, whereas the belly has a very natural rising. And then from that, by way of the patterning of openness, the left ribs gravitate towards more space. And then we'll come back to center for other side. You can just reach the arms straight up to the ceiling or the sky. Left hand first grabs the right base or right side ribs. Right hand to the left shoulder. It's like a hug. Tip the head to the left and open the right ribs on the right. So it really is, it's a self-hug, and it's an embrace of the energy of the heart that we can continue to open, whether it be more intense active practices like we did earlier today, or more passive like this practice will be today. Breathe into the right ribs and notice there's probably some ticklish spots in the side ribs that are maybe not used to opening or more used to narrowing and protecting you. And so as if you're a fish and you have gills and this is your oxygen space, your inhale, let it open all the way on the right side. Cool, and then we'll inhale and we'll come back up to center, bring your arms up to the sky, and then bring your arms all the way overhead as you stretch the legs out long on the mat. Just go super long, yeah. Then stay on your back, reach the right arm further away, let the right ribs open, and reach the left arm. So you're laying on your back, but you're kind of alternating side lengthening. Then keeping that, activate your heels, pull your heels into the ground, let the knees bend. There's more of a hollow at the back of the knees, and you get even longer. And it's like you're staircasing. You're walking the back of your ribs, just like that, Melissa, up and away from your hips, and let the neck curve and open as you go. Yeah, good, Pauline, yeah. Then, when ready, roll over to either side. I invite you to go to your right or your left. It really doesn't matter at this point. And then make your way up to all fours position. So a little bit of active movement into some passive. All fours, hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide and even take the hands a little more forward. Pump up the rib cage and start to arc left, right, front, and back in your own way. Activate the hips, widening the pelvic floor and curve and arc as if the radiance of the heart was not just reliance on how strong you are, but really how willing the heart can be to open up fully. Swivel, sway, wag your tail, arc the head. And this next pose is so sweet. So you're gonna let the knees get a little wide, about as wide as a yoga mat. Let the toes touch. Left hand slightly out in front of you. Glide the right arm underneath you, threading the needle. Your right shoulder will land. The right side of your head will land on the earth too. Left elbow, point it more skyward. So kind of how prayer hands feel in a twist. There's an energetic push down of the left arm to help spiral and swivel from the ribs. We'll do 5 slow breaths here. Come out earlier if it begins to become too intense for you. Stay longer if I call you out too soon. Right? You're in the comfort of your own home, really taking this relaxing practice at your own pace. Notice as you're in this relaxing twist, the pelvic floor really has a chance to open. Really let the sacrum tip in, the pelvic floor to be broad, almost as if the pelvis could breathe just as fully as the respiratory system on the upper half. And then energetically pushing with your left hand, start to peel real slowly all the way up to hands and knees. Do a couple cat-cows. You can keep the legs as they are, which is a little bit more like a child's pose orientation with the hips higher. And just do a little shake out front and back before we go left side. Cool, when ready, stabilize the right hand, slide the left hand through all the way to the right. You want to go pretty far with the shoulder. So the shoulder would land about mid-yoga mat. Right hand supports you. And there is a little bit of a push. We did a lot of twists in the noon class today, and kind of similar to like a prayer twist, the push of the top arm, it doesn't have to be aggressive here. It's just sustainable, right? It gives a conversation to the body to continue to stay with the opening versus running away from it. And then add the breath, full inhales, and full exhales. Stabilizing with the right hand, slowly make your way back up to all fours and adjust back to all fours more traditional. The knees are below the hips, the feet are straight behind, and do a couple more cat-cows. Exhale, curl in. Inhale to open up. One more time, exhale, round your back. Inhale, arch the back. Downward dog, curl the toes, have the feet really wide on this one, lift the knees up. If they weren't already, separate your feet about as wide as a yoga mat, giving maximum benefit for your pelvis to open before we do some hip openers, of course, today. Widen the elbows, root the heels, and stretch open long through your spine, through your belly. Once you've found your positioning here, stay here for about 5 breaths. Efforting towards minimal movement, right? Of course, adjust something if you need to, but seeking the yin, if you will, or the softness and the stability of the shape. Also think of the thigh bones, the rooting of your femur bones directionally going towards your hamstring muscles on the backside. As you guys now step even wider than a yoga mat, you can come a little bit forwards as you do that. Crawl back to a wide-legged ragdoll. Once you get the hands near the feet, hold opposite elbows. Bend the knees as much as you need and do a little dangle from side to side. Allow your head to release way more than I'm showing because I want to look at you guys. Allow the jaw to soften and just empty the contents of the stress of the brain into the earth. Yeah, the knees can have a bend or they can go full extension. Please just be thoughtful not to completely sleep the legs here. Keep some tonus or some action, some push to help protect your spine as you dangle, dangle, dangle. And we'll bend the knees about halfway, pretty low. Put your hands upon them and stretch the arms towards straight. Recovery pose, sitting back and wide. Dip your left shoulder down, swivel the heart to the right, opening, push the left knee more narrow again, left knee into the left hand and widen the left glute. So pelvic floor super broad. Other side, come to the center, dip the right shoulder in, narrow the right knee, bring the knee in a little bit, and work that narrow knee will help actually widen the hip more. Yeah, like that. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, step the feet back onto your yoga mat, mountain pose. We'll take a couple breaths. I'll adjust the camera here to see me a little better. Rotate your palms more forward, allow the crown of the head to rise skyward. This was super duper slow in a modified sun A. Bigger goal is breath to movement, not so much power. So on the inhale, burst the arms up to the sky, move with your own breath. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hips push back as the hands come down toward the feet. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, crawl forward towards your plank pose. Knees, chest, chin. So the knees go down first, chest goes down second, then the chin. Inhale, cobra, using the arms, stretch up as high as you like. Exhale, downward facing dog, curl the toes, elevate the pelvis. And again, 5 breaths. If down dog here is a little more than what you bargained for, child's pose is always a wonderful option. 4, 3, 2. This time going forward, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop towards the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen, half up. Exhale, take a nice restful fold. Engage the legs first. Inhale, rise up, stretch your arms above head. Maybe a little back bend if it's safe for you. Exhale, join the hands at the heart. Again, with breath, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or hop to your chaturanga flow, moving with breath. Inhale, open the chest up. Exhale, push the hips back. This time just 3 deep breaths before we move on. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend the knees, step or hop towards the hands all the way up. Inhale, lift, halfway, stretch. Exhale, fold back down. Yeah, nice pulling. Inhale, arms to sky, raise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Adding on just a hair. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Now just the left leg is going to step back, way back, big, big step, knee to the earth, low lunge. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms up. Exhale, half splits. Put the hands to frame the front leg, elevate the right toes and hinge the hips back, flexing the foot. Chaturanga, bend back forward, step back, take a flow. Please feel free to use your knees if you were looking for a little more of a restful flow tonight. Exhale, dog. Take 3 breaths here. Inhale, elevate the left leg up high. Exhale, low lunge. Place the left foot softly. Right knee down. Make sure it's a nice long stride. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, touch the ground. Half splits. Let the left toes lift. Flexion of the left ankle. Bow in for a moment. Now you're going to step forward. It's kind of a big movement. Left foot comes back to the earth. Forward fold. Exhale into the half lift. Inhale. Exhale, bend. Inhale, rise up all the way up. Now from here, put your right hand on the outer right leg and arc to the right side. So kind of modified moon salute is what I'm sharing with you guys. Inhale back to center, both arms up. To the left, left arm lowers, right arm reaches. So inhale back up, full breath. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Now this time, right leg goes back first, okay? So the right leg way back, right foot to the earth. Inhale, arms up. This time we'll stay a little longer. Hold opposite elbows. And then pull with your hands up on those elbows, getting more space through the ribs. Legs root low, hips root wide, and then out of that, even more lift, baby back bend. Into the half splits, exhale, reach the arms to frame the front leg, elevate the left toes, take a moment or two here. Even put left hand on the toes, let's do that, and pull back just a little bit more, getting more stretch. Good chaturanga, so you bend the knee, step back. Feel free to use your knees or even skip the chaturangas that I'm inviting you to play with. And you can always just meet us in down dog. That's cool too. Take 3 breaths here. Inhale, elevate your right leg skyward. Low lunge again, bend the knee, lie through long stride, left knee to earth, arms to sky. This time as you grab opposite elbows, try to grab it the weird way, the way it's not so intuitive. Pull up on the ribs, on the elbows, on the whole upper body as you descend the lower half. Baby back bend practice. And framing the front leg, hinge the hips back, flex the front foot, forward fold. Potentially add a little added intensity, right palm to the paw of the foot, pulling back on the foot, get more stretch. And step into forward fold, right foot comes to the earth, left foot meets the right. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, enjoy the fold. Separate the feet real wide. Peace finger grip your big toes, Padangusthasana. Once you have the grip, bend the knees a bit, take a lift halfway up. And as you exhale, broaden your elbows, forward fold. Gently releasing that, come up halfway. Downward facing dog or chaturanga if you want to add it in. We're going to start to mellow it out way more. You choose your own adventure. Pigeon pose. Now the hips are warm. Take the right knee behind your right wrist. Angle the shin below you. Scooch the left leg back, pointing the toe. Inhale, open the belly. Using your exhale, descend down to your elbows, maybe all the way down to your forehead for a little bit here. Yeah, really relax into it. And if this is a lot of pressure on your knee, an option would be to do figure 4, face down. So you just bring yourself up so the knee is behind the right ankle like I'm showing. Or you can lay on your back and do a figure 4, thread the needle. Yeah. Good, you guys, and really soften into it. Let the heat we just built by just a little bit of flow give benefit to the rise and the space of the pelvic floor. An opening that didn't exist before. 5 more full breaths. Good long hold right now. Final breath. And you can stay longer if you really wish to. Alternatively, let's slowly journey back up to our hands. Shake it out. You choose all 4s if you want to be a little more chill, or if you're ready for a down dog all the way up. All 4s or down dog. Give a good pedal out to the feet. Go 1 heel down, bending the opposite knee. Other heel down, just working the tissues of the back side really long. So simple to the left side. Glide your left knee through behind your wrist. Angle the shin below you. Scooch right leg way back, pointing the toe, descend to earth. If this knee is sensitive, please modify by doing figure 4, face down. It's called Falcon Pose. The hips stay up, knees behind the right ankle. You're more upright, pelvis. Otherwise, all the way down into pigeon. Or laying on your back for figure 4. And hold space for a potentially different experience on the left side. It might not mirror the right, often doesn't. So staying just as aware and keenly tuned into yourself, to what you're feeling. And 5 more slow breaths here. Last breath. Nice. Yum, yum. Make your way all the way back up to the hands. Either all 4s or stretch back to your downward dog. Pedal out the feet, either way. Pull forward, put the knees on the ground and lower all the way down to your belly. So it's prone. Make a little pillow with your hands. You can do little pancakes, one on top of the other, forehead, or turn a cheek to the ground, whichever feels better. Let the whole body soften. I'm gonna keep my head up to watch you guys, but you guys chill out, let the head go down, comfortable. And let's just do some real simple belly breathing. So on the in-breath, encourage your belly to actually push into the earth. So it feels like you're pretending to be Santa Claus, right? Really massaging the intestines, the organs. Working in expansiveness and then a softness in the guts. Noticing the low lumbar, when you're able to do an effective belly breath, it's not just can I be strong enough to move my belly big and small. There's also a yin quality to that. There has to be actually some softening there to really let the belly take in, let the ribs and the belly expand fully to its fullest breath. So there's a sensitivity of effort and ease. And let it become a massage, especially for those parts of your body that you know tend to resist energetic movement, right? The parts of the gut that get stuck or feel sensitive. And massage from the inside out with your own breath. So if you have your head turned one way, switch it to the other so the neck gets an equal stretch. And we'll do just a few more breaths on this side. Super passive, super relaxed. Let the heels flop out if they haven't done so already. Belly breath is your focus. Two more belly breaths here before we're going to move on. From the prone position, we're going to come up to all fours. So place the hands by your sides, push through the knees and rise up. Broaden the elbows, make space in the ribs. Curl the toes under, from all fours, lift the knees. Swivel them to the left and put the right hip way back on the ground. Way back, so seated side twist, this is called. Left fingertips come to dome. Yeah, put the left hand on the inside of your left knee. Push the knee into your hand. Tip the head to the right, yin through the throat. Left knee pushes into the straight left arm. And then widen the left sitting bone more back and open your belly. Move the hips. You can even lift them and push them more behind you. Hips are back and belly bows and opens to the right. And you guys, this is so nice. Take the left hand to the right side ribs. And again, breathe into that space. Let the ribs lower towards the earth a bit and open as you're feeling sensitively into the side right ribs. Open the belly forward as the hips still sit back, breathing into the right side body. Good. Now, left hand to the left ankle. Hold the ankle strongly and cross the ankle in front of your right leg. Cross that left ankle in front. Yeah, good, Pauline. Sit the hips way back. Hips are way behind you. Lower down, left hand to the right elbow. Now it's a big, deep twist, maybe down to the left elbow. Yeah, so the hips, let me turn a little more to the side. Hopefully you guys can see the orientation of this some semi-complex pose. Is the hips are rooting back and wide. My low belly is open and the ribs are pulling forward and up. Super deep stretch of the core. Big belly opener. Let the energy move through the guts as the hips sit back and wide and the elbows pull the ribs forward and up. And by way of left hand coming to the earth, feel the ribs so it's light as the right hand comes to the earth. Hover the left heel, push down with that foot, just bring the hips back up, adjust the feet, swivel the knees to the right, and lower way back. So the left elbow doesn't bend. That's the trick. You gotta go way back with the hips. And even shift them more back. This time let's start with the right hand on the belly. And seek to make the belly long and open. Yeah, right hand to the right knee now. Push the knee and the hand into each other. As the knee narrows, widen the right sitting bone more back and wide, tipping the head to the left. And using the right hand on the left ribs, invite more openness there. And they can even soften to the ground, opening and broadening more into the left side body. Hips move back, belly stays long. Then icing on the cake, right hand to the ankle. Cross the ankle in front of the left knee. Right, so you have an orientation of crisscross. Narrow the knee more in and widen the buttons back. Lower down right hand, left elbow, and then twisting from the ribs, right elbow to the earth. Narrow both knees. Knees are narrow into the midline. Widen the pelvic floor back and bow and open and stretch your belly like crazy. Keep the hips sitting back. You might even scooch them more back by way of making more space in the pelvic girdle, pelvic floor. Bring the right hand to power, left elbow, push through the feet, hover the right heel, and rise up. Other side again, knees swivel to the left, right hip lands so light. This time lay all the way down on your side, slide the right arm long. Take a moment to scoot your hips back behind you. So your ribs are central on your mat, but your hips are towards the back edge of it. Yeah, so you're really open in the belly. Put the left forearm down on the ground. Put your head on your right arm to relax. And allow yourself to be in this open-gutted, open-bellied posture to softly rest. In fact, let's add one more nice thing. Bring the left knee forward on the ground and scooch the right knee back a little bit. That's nice too. Yeah, the knees have a dig into the earth. Drag the pelvic floor more back and wide and then soften some more. Let the belly really open and have this sweet spaciousness just not only given to the upper part of your belly, but even the lower part, the low belly button. Invite the left side of the ribs to also have a lift and a spaciousness. I'm going to keep the lower body as is, okay? Now bring your right arm out to the left of you. So it's going to be straight out in front of your face over there, okay? Left hand is going to reach for your right foot. So left hand can start in the sky and then swim back, bend the right knee in and try to find your right foot. Yeah. That's part one to this twist. Now, kind of like dancer's pose, start to kick the foot back, lay onto your back, and twist until that left shoulder, it probably won't touch the ground, but it's getting closer. Cool, this is a good place to hang. The right arm's there to stabilize. Otherwise, right hand and right knee can make a relationship together. Or excuse me, right hand and left knee. You can give a nice little push-pull there. Inhale, lengthen the back, open up the throat like we did at the very beginning of practice, healthy neck. And exhale, twist from the base of the ribs. Dig the knees into the ground and try to get the upper part of the thighs to root more back towards the pelvis. So the glutes actually continue to mound up here. Gently releasing to roll all the way onto your back. Arms up to the sky, inchworm your way, keeping open belly, open hips. And then scooching to the other side of your mat with your hips. Extend your left arm above the head. Roll to the left side, and again, notice the ribs are centralized, but the hips are way back. Cross the right leg comfortably in front of the left, put your right forearm on the ground, put your head on your arm, and relax. And it can become, you guys stay as you are, it can become a story of the guts, right? We hold a lot of memory in this area, and so to clench and get tight is often our go-to. So I invite you, as a process of restoration of the guts, let the belly be super open, especially if you have been experiencing stress and any stomach upset. Let it relax, let it soften into Mother Earth. Let the energy of curvature of the central channel of the body give rise to more space. And then taking the left arm, instead of above the head, it'll cross to the right side of your mat. Roll the right arm open and reach for your left foot for a little bind. Yeah. Kicking with the foot back, let it twist you. You might even scoot your shoulders slightly left to gain your twist to the right. This is a good place to be. Otherwise, the left hand could come to your right knee and get a little more push-pull there. So a simple release to lay onto your back, arms to sky, inchworm your way to center. Ribs are central, hips are central. Put your hands on your groins and just literally push the upper thighs away from you and reach the ribs. You can rock them away. Personally, I get a lot of back relief when I do this, the rooting of the hips and then the rising of the ribs. Super, super therapeutic on the low lumbar and upper back. And let the feet be wide again. Remember how we started class. Arms can go out towards cactus shape. Let both knees dip to the right. We'll go on the inner edge of the left foot. We stay here or take the right ankle and potentially cross it over the left knee for a few breaths. And soften into the outer left hip, into the lowest part of your belly. And we'll slowly incline back to center. Separate the feet wide, adjust the hips so they feel centered again. Dip the knees to the left. You'll rotate to the inner right foot. Cross the left ankle over the right knee, optionally, and deepen the stretch. Inhaling, come back to center. Release the left foot. Put your hands down on the glutes and actually untuck your pelvis to get a little gentle lift, okay? Now, arms up above head and keeping the tailbone untucked, rotate the ribs or move the ribs up and away from the hips. So you're climbing a ladder with the ribs again, belly stays open. And now one leg at a time, stretch out long. And by having the pelvis untucked, as you open the legs out, notice, put your hands on your thighs, they're more rooted. The top part of the femur is more ground bound, versus if we tuck, it tends to pop up. So you even use your hands. Let's do it one more time. Untuck the pelvis. Now that the legs are long. And the more there's a width there, the more opportunity the femur bones have to settle to earth. Then last time here, take the left arm to the sky, right hand to the right ribs. Excuse me, right hand to the left ribs, I'm sorry. And then cross the left hand to the right shoulder. So emphasize the left ribs. Tip the head just barely to the right, so subtle. And take a handful of breaths into the left side ribs without closing off your belly. So there's this curve, the root of the thighs and the heaviness of the femur bones and towards your the femur bones towards the hamstrings rather, gives a calming sensation, and then the low belly gets so open. It's a little, you can't just force it, you have to allow the low belly to open. And then the ribs expand out of that. Liquid like so slow, we switch, arms reach up. Head to center, bring left hand to the right ribs, right hand just to the right, to the left hand to the right ribs, right hand to the left shoulder, tip the head a bit away. And think of this length, there's a lot of different curves to it. It's not just a one bend to the left, there's a low back curve giving rise to the length of the belly and the root of the hips. But then this balloon-like characteristic to the right side ribs, especially now, really ultimately to the whole rib cage, but at the moment, specifically the right ribs, notice the opening of that side. And that's a place of confidence, that's a place of power. When the ribs are full and broad on all sides, you know, that's not what we do when we're feeling small, right? It's really a practice of holding ourselves fully, what we deserve, what we know to be true in our heart. And then we orient back to center. Let's go one more time, arms overhead, just a nice long good morning stretch, orienting a center feeling. For Shavasana, you could just glide your arms towards a cactus shape or glide them all the way down by your hips if you prefer, again, to touch the tummy and feel that area. Giving the tummy a bit of massage is a nice thing to do as well towards the end of practice. Keeping the eyes closed and the energy steady, I really encourage you to stay here for a while. I'll hold space for a few minutes until we're at the end of the hour. But even beyond that, know that you don't have to pop up right at the end of the hour. One of the many benefits of being in your own home is you can make this as long as you need without worrying about anything else. Allow the teeth to part. If the jaw feels tense, I recommend bringing the chin a little more up so the throat is again open and trained for space and openness of the front body versus protection and shortness. Visualize a curvy, spirally tube from the pelvis through the crown. It's your central channel and it's respective of all the curves of the body, of the spine. It's open, it's free. Energy can move through you, unstuck, unheld. Pulling back the need to grasp or to attach. Practicing the letting go. I invite you to stay as long as you need. I'll be turning off the camera and turning on some music. So if you want to stay another 10, 20 minutes, I will continue to hold space for you. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful evening. I appreciate you all so much. Namaste.